Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Spiritual Writer Chats podcast. I am your host, Zen Lauren, creator of Wizen Temple. It is WIZZAN temple.com. I create esoteric content for seekers, mystics, and soul travelers on the inner path. So I want to invite you to subscribe at wizentemple.com so you can be notified of new articles and also the updates and announcements for the coming Wizen Mystery School. And also, I want to invite you, of course, to subscribe here and on Spiritual Writer Chats. And if you would like to be on the podcast, just send me a direct link through, send me a message through the profile. So today, my guest is Cassandra Truax. And Cassandra is a cyber psychic living in San Antonio, Texas. Hello, Cassandra.
Hello.
Welcome.
Good to be here.
So let me quickly show everybody. You're also, I just found out, I was doing a little exploring, and you are also an author of a book and also of a tarot breakthrough masterclass.
Correct.
So you are quite the tarot, the magi of the magiess of tarot. And let me see here. Let me just do an intro here. So this is Cassandra's Substack, and I'm really interested in jumping into this because a lot of interesting. Oh, real quick, we'll get to our recommendations there for the community. It's such an interesting concept. It's the first time I've heard it, so I'm really looking forward to asking you about it. In your About Me page, you say I've been in conversation with tarot I like this. You've been in conversation as one who has created his own oracle. I totally get it. For over 30 years. And in your 20s, I taught myself from Mary K. Greer's books, but it wasn't until I stopped memorizing and started listening that the cards truly came alive. So tell us about yourself. Tell us about your work, and then we'll kind of dive deeper into it.
Okay. Well, yeah, as you said, I'm a tarot reader. I've been reading since my 20s, and I was always interested in divination. Even when I was a kid, I always say I was in section 133 of the library. So if you've been in there, that's where all the divination books are, and I was always in there. And then, like, when I left home and went to college, I was like, okay, let me explore this further. And so that was the 80s. So we still did things with books. And like I said, I
Wow,
self-taught.
remember that. Remember
Yes.
that.
Yeah. And so, I would read and not read for a long time. But then I got to this point where I decided to create my own deck. Like, I challenged myself to create a card a day because this was back when US Games was trying to claim the copyright on the Rider-Waite Smith deck. I don't know if
I
you
think I
remember
heard
that.
about
They were
that.
trying to,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah, and so they were trying to, like, have everybody, you had to go through them to use those images, and I was like, "Screw that, I'm just gonna make my own," and I released them to the Creative Commons, so I'm like, anybody who wants to use them can use them. They're still out there. They're still out there, so it was through that process that I got into conversation with tarot, like I was talking about, because I was like, "I've gotta get something more to pull on here." Yeah, and so it was just like through that challenging of myself, I was like, "Oh, okay." It just kind of deepened my knowledge, and like I said, and it started more of a conversation.
So I just love that you're using the word conversation. Um, so how many tarot cards did you create? And tell us a little bit about how you came up with each one. Were they reflective of the Rider-Waite, or did you come up with your own archetypes for the deck?
Yeah, so I did the whole deck, all 78 cards, which is a lot.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
I
So
always say that.
you
It's
did
a
the
lot.
yeah, so you did that's a lot. Mine's 48, but
Yeah.
so you patterned it after the classic tarot
Yes.
uh cards. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And I basically did just kinda used number plus suit. That was kinda like what I leaned the most heavily on, because
Okay.
it's kinda like Lego pieces that you can put together. You're like, "Okay, if
Right.
fours are this, that, and the other, and pentacles are this, that, and the other, it's like, what can I come up with?"
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then your art, did you draw your art yourself?
No, it was digital art.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, gosh, I don't even know
And
where
I
to
I I
start.
I got images that were from the Creative Commons because I was gonna release it to the Creative Commons, so that's
Okay,
what I did.
okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Now, tell us about a cyber psychic. What does this mean? I mean,
It
immediately I could say you're a psychic that does readings, on the internet, but
Right. Yeah, it's just kind of a funny catchphrase because you need them online. It doesn't really mean anything super specific. I'm like, "That sounds kinda cool. Cyber
it's
psychic,
way
that's what I
cool.
am."
Yeah, it's like esoteric hoe. I don't know if you saw the one of the first ones we did.
No.
Esoteric hoe has one.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
very interesting, and it catches you. It's and she spells hoe like a
A
actual
tool.
like the tool, but it
Yeah,
doesn't mean that, of course.
right.
But look, it got me thinking. So, do you do online readings?
I do.
I assume you do. Okay.
Yes.
And let me see here. So, some of your articles, tarot as personal dialect, speak yours. Defund the tarot police, which I gotta ask, what the heck is that?
Okay. Well, the idea there is like I'm like, okay, everybody gets caught up with the whole definitions and learning definitions.
Right.
And really truly there are no tarot definitions, so a lot of people like to be the tarot police and be policing saying, "No, that card doesn't mean that."
Yeah.
Any card could mean anything at any time. There
Mm.
is no set thing of definitions, and it's
Oh, your audio went out.
I got a
Oh,
call,
there
but
you go. Okay, good. Your
am I
audio's back.
back?
You're back.
Okay. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool that tarot arose without definitions. Like, no one sat down and said, "I'm make like you with your oracle deck. I'm making an oracle deck. This is what it means." That's not what would happen with tarot. It happened the other way around. So
Mm.
that's actually pretty cool that we've been able to layer all of this meaning and symbolism and all of this stuff on top of it, and it continues to evolve. So that's
Yeah,
my idea of the tarot police, and there is no tarot police.
yeah. My view with the Wizen deck is, it's personal. The archetypes and the spirits grew organically over the decades, right? And so every time somebody, it's like everything's like the tarot card, right? Every time when a card happens for somebody, it's what arises inside of them in reflection to that card. It's always in real time.
Right.
What are your thoughts on the origin? What is the origin of the tarot deck? Where did this all start?
Well, I think it started as a playing card game.
Okay.
But I think that the people at that time, they're very different than we are now. So
Right.
it's like the way we approach a game or a deck of cards is very different than how they did. Because first of all, everybody had to hand create these for a while there. I mean, wealthy families were having them created.
Right.
And so they were, putting themselves in the deck. They were putting certain elements in the deck. I think they were doing what we would call magic
Yeah.
with them by creating the
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So once again, it wasn't like somebody just said, "Well, the 2 of Pentacles means this all the time." It's like
Right.
it was just much more of an expansive, I don't know, worldview or something. The
Yeah.
way they treated it at the time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I want to take a quick look at, you sent me the article you sent me was turn meh tarot into mind blowing sessions. So I want to get to that. But
Okay.
I want to make sure that we show everybody your book and your breakthrough masterclass.
Okay.
So your book, Cracking the Tarot Nut, How to Have Deep Conversations, there we go with the conversations again,
Sure.
with tarot without memorizing definitions. And I would love for you to unpack that for me, but for us. Can you get this on Amazon or is it specifically on your website?
It's through my website. Yeah, it's not
Okay,
on
your
Amazon.
website is quickcardreading.com.
Right.
And you can download the book. It is, and this is kind of neat. Pay what you want, $5 minimum. That's kind of neat. So share with us what your book is about, and with an emphasis on conversations, because I think that really opens up what it's about. Like, the wisdom spirits, for me, these are developing a relationship with these archetypical energies. And the more intimate the relationship is, the more results one will get. That's why it's all it's all communication. So share with us, what's your book about? And
Yeah, so it's a basic primer on how to approach and read tarot, and so I break it up into talked about this a little bit before, like number and suit, and how you can bring that into the minors, and then how to connect with the court cards and how to connect with the major arcana. And then the whole second half is like how to actually do a reading. Because I think a lot of resources just kind of end with like, hey, these are the cards. And then people are like, oh, okay. Now what?
right.
Now what? So I have a couple different approaches on doing a reading. Like, some of it's kind of like I liken it to, remember those books where you would take them and you would put them like this, and it's like you kind of get that 3D effect that would come up from the image, the stereograms.
Oh
You'd have to
yeah,
stare at it in that weird
yeah, they're really
way,
good
and
for
then you
your
would see
brain.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
They
like
like they like massage your brain.
yes, yes. So it's like I talk about ways that you can lay out a spread and just kind of look at the cards that way and just let something arise out of it
Okay.
so that you see something.
Mhm.
And I talk a lot about questions, which is what the article was about, because I'm really into questions. I realize that some people are not. Like they just are more oracular and they just like blurt stuff out, and that's great, but that's not the way I read. And so a lot of getting a good tarot reading is getting a good question and getting underneath the question, because then
Nice.
you can really tease out the message, I think.
Nice. Couldn't agree with you more. I love that that's your approach. I mean, it sounds to me like you step into a tarot reading really open and listening more than here I am to give you the answer.
Yes, very much. And that's my personality. That is my personality. I have a listener's personality.
Mm.
And tarot is funny for me because it's like it's a way for me to connect with people. Not only like am I connecting with cards, but it's like it makes it an easy way for me to connect with people and have deep conversations that I would otherwise not have.
Yeah, and you get to explore it, because if you come in with a projected idea what I'm going to do for you, you've kind of cut up, like you don't get to know what might happen, the surprise of, what's going to happen when you open up to it and what's going to come out of the person. And so this sounds like, so these are the conversations you're talking about then, like when you're having a conversation with what's arising with the person as you're
Yes.
okay. Ah, interesting. So would you say like you're opening up to the conversation with their subconscious, their unconscious realm through the archetype
Yes.
of the tarot?
Yes, I would describe it that way. Yes.
Nice. And that's what makes it fun. That's also maturity on the path.
It's also what?
Maturity on the path.
Ah, yeah.
Because a person younger on the path is more likely to input through more control, and a person more matured on the path is more likely to listen.
Uh-huh.
And because they're in the moment, right? Because you never know what's going to happen, right? But if you got preconceived ideas, you're always placing them on the
Yeah.
on the moment, and you miss out on the adventure of what might happen. Um, okay, so that's your book that you can get at quickcardreading.com. I'm a relentless promo guy. Like, I don't know what it is
Yeah,
about me, but
you are.
I, I love promoting other people, and not just my own work, but I just don't know what it is. But let's look at your master class. Okay. I just love that people create. and it takes a lot of courage to get out of the 9 to 5 mentality,
Yeah, it
and to
does.
literally step into something you're passionate about. And it takes a lot of, it's not just jumping and thinking everything's going to happen for you. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of planning, and it takes a lot of, um, I mean, look what you've done. Look at your websites, it just shows the amount of crafting and loving attention and that you've put on your work. So, live tarot breakthrough masterclass, June 25th through August 20th, 2025. 8 weeks to unshakable tarot mastery. No more guessing, just a reliable framework plus your intuition. Only 15 spots available. Meet the Tarot Breakthrough Masterclass, 8 pre-recorded lessons dripped out over the course. That's an interesting term. Your roadmap to tarot confidence, 8 live practice sessions, private circle community, reading buddies, a tarot hotline. Would you like to share with us all of these? Want to talk about this?
Sure. Well, obviously that has ended. Um, I will offer it again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, but I will imagine
But
you're going to have another one. I since it was up, I just figured I didn't even think
yeah,
about that. Yeah,
yeah. No, that
I'm
has
not in.
ended.
I'm not into time, man. Okay.
Yeah, that was my first run through and it went very well. And I think the strongest point of the class were the live sessions.
Okay.
Because when you get together and as you noted, it's like the reading arises in the moment. And so when you can get with other people and you can experience that, I think that's when people really experience breakthroughs and is like, oh, this is how you
Mm,
do reading.
mm.
This is how it works. This is how you flow with it.
So, private circle community with class materials. And where is that community?
On
Where? How
for
does that? How does that exist? Is it on a? You said you have pre-recorded lessons, and then you have 8 live practice sessions. So, is the private circle community a Facebook group or what? Where does that exist? Sorry about that.
yeah, the community is circle. It's called Circle. Have you ever heard of Circle?
No,
It's kind of like Mighty Networks or whatever. It's Circle.
circle community. I just heard. Yeah, and there's a fee to have that, right? Because I think I looked at
Yes,
it,
there is.
and I
Yeah,
think the
you do
fee
have to
was a
pay.
little high for me or something. Yeah, it might have been. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. Yeah, it was the price that freaked me out. But I imagine it's. I mean, I like the format. Um, do you enjoy? I mean, does it work for you? I mean,
Yes, I love Circle. Circle's great. It's great. There's so
what
much you
is?
can do on there. You can yeah, you can do video, you can do audio, you can do written. Yeah, it'll drip, like you said, drip out that course content for you and everything. And it's great because it's like Facebook and everybody can chat and have a conversation and all that stuff.
I mean, yeah, and I imagine there's some Substack ishness in there too. You got AI agents, so you get a website and everything in here, or is it just, yeah, I imagine you have your own platform in
Yeah,
here.
yeah, you can do a website with Circle now. I have not done that yet, but it does have that capability.
And it's kind of weird how pricey it is. $89 a month.
Yeah.
That's pretty high. Huh. Um, so when did you decide to get into um Substack? How long ago did you get into Substack? Um,
I think I started posting in was it like April or May? I've been aware of it for a very long time and following
okay.
people on Substack. But I already had an email list on another platform and I kept
Mm,
saying, I don't want 2 email lists, right? I just kept saying, I don't want 2 email lists. Why would I do that? And then it hit me one day. I was like, wait a minute. Why could I not just post everything that I'm sending to my newsletter list I already have on Substack?
mm,
Like I had it in my head, it had to be different. And I'm like, It doesn't have to be different. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
Mhm.
remember Google and duplicate content? Everybody was scared. Oh, duplicate content. Like those
Right.
days are gone. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna start posting on Substack. And I did. And it's like, it's turned out to be really, it's a great community. I'm just like blown away
Yeah.
by all the interaction and the support and just, yeah, it's, and I've
Yeah,
been growing. And like, whereas my other list that people get on through my website, not so much. Not so much.
and so you've been on since May. You started it, yeah. So what's your let me see here. You started in May. So you've been growing. Yeah, I'm taking a look at your uh followers and subscribers and such. And um yeah, it is amazing. Substack blew my mind too, continues to, because I don't know if you experienced, like, I was on Facebook, sorry, I was on, well, not Facebook too, but mainly on YouTube, and just like it's a whole story,
Yeah.
banging my head against the wall. But I learned this thing that is so obvious, it's comical. If you're a writer, don't promote your stuff on a video platform,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And I learned that, and the minute I got onto Substack, it was a little rocky in the beginning because, you post a note and nobody knows you're there, and you post another one, and a month later you post notes, and you still don't get, everyone else is getting all these likes and comments. You're like, well, what the heck? But anyway, my effort paid off over time. But then it's been like, yeah, it's just like, wow, yeah, I'm a writer and I'm a reader. And if you're a a person who does tarot, you read tarot cards, you interact that way. And so you're in a community of readers. What's interesting is how Substack added the Twitter X element and then added the video element, which I was kind of like, trying to get away from and just do
Yeah.
the blog thing. So that's why I split the two, Wisdom Temple and this. But it works because it's still a reader writer community,
Right.
and you can relate to everybody.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I find most interesting about Substack is like people that like to read are on Substack.
Yeah.
They're on there to read.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not on there to just whiz by things. They're looking for things to read.
Yeah. I promote all my articles on Facebook. And a couple times I posted a video, like a short, and it got like 2,000 followers, right, on Facebook. Guess how many subs I got on Substack? Zero.
Oh,
Why? Because if they're going to watch a video, they're the type of people that are attracted to videos.
right.
So if you're going to market on Facebook or anywhere, market an article. And I thought, wow, it's so crazy how specific it is on the internet. Like, you got to find your right
Yeah.
niche. It's not about going wide. There's 8 billion people out there. It's about getting 1.11111% of a dedicated audience.
Right.
Enough room for everybody. Um, so okay, now I want to back up just a little bit.
Okay.
What first set you on your spiritual path? What was your, you can go as far back as childhood. What was it that started you, and also were your inspirations along the path that brought you into this inner place?
Yeah. That's an interesting question. Yeah. Um gosh. I it's like I don't know. I guess my spirituality still confuses me even even to this day.
Okay.
It's like I don't have a real solid, like, this is what it is,
Mm,
but I was always aware of it,
hmm.
from me being very young, like I said. And for a while there, I was married, and I was married to an Apache man, and he was very against like my card reading and the whole thing and the astrology and all the stuff that was part of my spirituality.
Mm.
And it was not because he was Christian, which you might think, or something like that. It was just because he was just like, "Hey, I'm kind of a medicine man, so there can only be one in the family, and you can't do it too." It was kind of
Well, yeah, and they also, the a lot of the new age with what they call white shamans, plastic shamans.
yeah,
I did a video on it many years ago, where they appropriated the culture, and I live in Sedona, Arizona, so there for 26 years. So there were several people that were pretending, as stating that they were part of Native American culture and stuff. So there was a lot of um, Native Americans that were rightfully upset that
yes,
people will be taking their dream weavers and all of their their spiritual uh, traditions and pretend you know what I mean, like
yeah, yeah.
it's
No,
so
yeah, I get it.
it's what the Christian church did to the pagans. It's like, sorry, that wasn't yours, it was ours. um so how did you deal with that, like um
I just shut tarot away in a drawer for a long time.
oh no, how long
10 years. So
did you
that's when it happened that I came to San Antonio, and that's when I was like, "Okay, I'm making a deck, I'm making a go at this thing," and yeah, so
so this was
that's when it
after
came
you
back.
you separated?
Yes.
And is this where you feel like maybe your spirituality started to open up, where you finally could, now I can be in my space?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
tarot, it's perfect. It's a represent, like, how many people would know, like, what is the story behind this person that's doing tarot? How does it affect your spiritual path?
How does what affect
The
it?
tarot and your tarot process,
Oh,
and how does it
um, yeah, I'm very much in communication with the archetypes, and there's that that word again. That's
okay.
Yeah, it's like part of my spirituality is like planets, connecting with planets, connecting with archetypes through the cards, and so it's like, yeah, it's like these are my guides, my touchstones, and it's like, yeah, there's a give and a take and a learning. Yes,
Do you interact with them on a daily basis? Like, do you wake up and pull a card, or is it every now
yeah,
and then?
I do the daily draw every day. And
Oh, interesting.
I've been doing it consistently every day for, like, 3 years. I mean, I've done it on and off at other times, but it's, like, 3 years I've been doing it every day.
It's a spiritual path because
Yeah.
it's a great tool. They're talismanic. You have 78 talismanic cards, or 78 talismans. They're a connection to the unconscious, and it's a there's all different ways. It's all about bridging the unconscious. Every path is about bridging the awareness to the unconscious. I was going to ask you something. Ah, I had it right there, and it was good. I don't. It was a good one. You were talking about the daily draw and interacting with the archetypes. Um, oh, it was a good one. I forgot it. Do you have any type of, like? Oh, I know what it was. Synchronicity that occurs with your spiritual path with the tarot.
Yeah, I see tarot cards in real life all the time. You know how you just look over, you're like, "Oh, there's the King of Cups," or there's, whatever scene will be there. I run into it all the time.
For example, like,
So,
you don't literally see the King of Cups, or do you see, like, a what it means archetypically, you mean? Or do you see the
sometimes it's kind of like literally like the scene itself. Like it's like something very visual. But
okay.
yeah, otherwise it could be something archetypal, or it could be some other symbol that kind of like sparks it, and it's like you make that connection, and you're like, oh, good, okay.
So outside of your personally made deck, which I just want to praise you for that, and because in the Wizen path, um, it is I teach people to make their own everything, because you kind of miss out. I'm not saying that I mean, there's decks that I have used through the decades that I've
Yeah.
absolutely loved, right? But there is a point that I like to invite, soul travelers to do this work because it goes so deep.
Yeah.
Um, and the process of that is what's so important. Um, are there what decks outside of and what is your deck called?
It's called the Evolutionary Options Tarot.
Okay. You want to unpack that one?
The I don't know why I named it that because I made that deck like in 2013, so it's been a long time. But that's what I came up with, and I'm like, because when I read for people, I'm always like, I'm trying to help them work through options, because it's kind of like you're saying, it's like I'm not just gonna spit something at you and
Right,
answer, be like, well, that's
right,
it, that's it, it's like
right.
I like to help people work through the options.
Yeah. So you've had this deck since 2013.
Yeah,
Wow. So I've only had my deck a couple years, and it's already a living, breathing collective. Um, so having it as long as you've had, you've got to have a real potent communication with that oracle.
yeah. I actually don't use that deck anymore. I
Oh,
had it
okay.
printed and then,
Okay.
I lost one of the cards, and then,
Okay.
and that was a few years ago, and I never had it printed again. I've been wanting to make another deck,
Oh,
uh, but
okay.
I haven't done it.
So
I made
that leads me to my other question, which was what deck are what is your favorite deck outside of your oracle?
um, I've been using the Morgan Greer a lot. I use that a lot, like, I do a lot of parties and events. I use the Morgan Greer because
Okay.
it's very, it's very clear, and it's like, just physically, it's easy to read in any situation, like, I can see it because I never know if it's gonna be, like, the light's gonna be good, how much room I have, or you know what I
Do you
mean?
have
So
it
the
with
images
you?
are very clear.
Do you have it with you?
Yes.
Can we see it?
Yeah. So,
I
uh,
see. Okay.
I have a smaller one because it's easier for people to shuffle.
Right.
It's kind of, it's almost kinda cartoonish. It's kinda zoomed in on
Okay.
the Rider-Waite images.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for clarity purpose
Yeah.
is yeah, simple.
Yes.
And it's not an expensive deck too. I'm looking at it here on
Yeah, it's
Amazon.
not.
Yeah, it's $18, $16, $18. There's one on here for $13 on thriftbooks.com, but
Yeah.
okay. Any other decks that you over the years that you use? Because there's a lot of tarot
There's a
decks.
lot. Yeah, I
Um,
love the Gaian tarot.
how do you spell that?
Gaian. That's one of my all-time favorites. It's very earthy. It's kinda like set in the Pacific Northwest, and it reminds me of Arizona when I lived there because I lived in the mountains, and it's
What
like
part of
that.
Arizona?
What?
What part of Arizona?
I was out near Show Low.
Oh, okay. So you know I'm in Sedona.
Yes.
I like that.
There's the
I like
Gaian.
that deck. I like it. It's got yeah, it's for Gaia. It's the Earth deck, Gaia.
And it's
And why
very
don't
not scary. Once again, when you're reading, like, at parties and events, I'm not trying to scare people, so it's a very non-scary deck. There's
and why
no
don't you
scary stuff.
use this one instead of the one you're using now?
I did use the Gaian for the longest time, and then, I just I got this Morgan Greer and I got the smaller one, and I'm like, "Oh, you know what? This is good because it's easier for people to handle." So that's what I've
Okay.
been using lately.
And it's also traditional. Are you like a traditionalist when it comes to tarot? Like, the Rider Waite is really the template, unless you're using the Crowley deck. But,
Right.
right, do you feel like you're just kind of a purist when it comes to
Not really, not really.
no?
No.
Okay, because the difference between what you have and what the guy in is, what you have is more Rider Waite, seems to me,
Yeah.
versus the guy in. And so you just like it something that's a little bit more closer to the traditional tarot. Is that correct? Or
I mean, it's just like I said, it's good for parties and events because it's easy. It's easy to read.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's been
Eh,
some really wonderful decks over the years that I've
there's so
seen.
many. I can't keep track of them. I mean, all the time
Yeah,
people just like, "Have you ever seen this one? You ever seen that one?" I'm like, "No,"
yeah.
because there's so many. That's why I'm
That
like, get a deck you like. There's no reason for you to have a deck that you feel
yeah.
awkward around. It's like,
I have
get one that you like.
one of my ex-girlfriends, we're good friends, and she loves to collect tarot decks. She's got a zillion of them. Just loves them. That's her thing. It's her thing she does. Um, uh, so I think that's a fun thing for a person to do. I think if somebody's going to be a reader, I would agree with you, is find a deck that you can become a part of. Um, and, eventually, if someone's not going to make their own, become a part of a deck, like really develop a relationship because they do come alive to you. It's all about your inner realm, and it triggers unconscious
Right.
powers and things like that. I couldn't, honestly, when the making of the Wizen deck, was surprising because I hadn't set out to do it. I just woke up one morning and go, "Oh, okay, we're making one, right?"
Yeah.
And then it didn't come to me till a year later, and then it was a year later that it was completed, and then the synchronicities I had with this thing were just ridiculous. Just
Wow.
I only consult this thing, I mean maybe once a month, maybe sometimes not for a while, not there's a particular feeling I get to consult it.
Gotcha.
Because the synchronicities are ridiculous, and so that I've earned a real respect for this deck because it came out of me. You know what I mean? The archetypes came out over the years, and so it's a living. Um, uh, so my relationship with the oracle is what will be translated as it emerges through the Wizen Temple. And for you, are you still doing the parties?
Yes.
So I see that's what I'm hearing is the same things happening as your relationship. It matters, if you're going to do a reading and you're going to go somewhere, the potency, it's like a musician. The amount of time the musician spends with their craft is going to be what's experienced with the audience. And so it sounds to me like that's exactly what you're doing. The quality of your readings are dependent upon your conversations,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I kind of hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, I agree with you.
Let me see.
Do
And
you
by the
sell
way,
your deck or don't?
not yet, but it's going to be. It is, it, this whole thing has been on the works a long time. And, I first saw this when I was 35, so 45, 55, so about 20 something years ago. And then it all kind of started coming together the past couple of years. So anyway, the deck and the grimoire and the music, all of that together is likely going to be presented and available because it's a path in and of itself. And that's integrated in the mystery school. So the music is key. This is all just organically grown through the decades. Um, and there's Kundalini juice in this stuff just because I didn't set out to have them, but they happened, and the big one happened. And anyway, so sorry, I can just my once I start thinking about something, these little roots grow out, and I have to pull myself back. But um, the what I want to do, especially with the AI and everything that's happening, I have my books on Amazon, my biography, actually, the first one I've unpublished. I don't know if I want to put it on Amazon, to be honest with you. I kind of want to personally hold the book and the deck and maybe signature this in some way and then mail it to each person, at least in the beginning,
Yeah,
because of that touch and that connection. Because it's all a craft, you know. So it's a long answer to your question. It's just happening in little steps. Um, so ultimately, that's will it later be where you can just buy the tarot deck? It's just hard to do that because it's all interconnected. So
yes,
when you pull a spirit from the oracle, it's integrated with the grimoire and the music. So it's a living, breathing universe
oh,
that's growing itself. So
interesting, very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, it. I'm a little freaked out over it. Be honest with you, it. uh, so I'm excited, and I don't know when exactly this is going to be published, but it's all happening. It's all growing organically, you
Okay,
know. The grimoire's
fair
grown.
enough.
But
Fair enough.
the deck is complete. The deck is complete.
Nice.
Um okay, sorry, long-winded answer. I like you love questions and I have to like pull myself back in. Okay, so I wanted to say hi to those of you who are watching and invite you to ask Cassandra any if you have any questions or comments. Christopher, who is a tarot person, a magi of the tarot, helping people work through the options rather than split out an answer is so beautiful. And is how I read for those seeking my guidance through facilitating a conversation between their spirit and their shadow.
Nice. Yeah. Wonderful approach. Yes.
Christopher says, right, there are no definitions. Anyone stating a specific meaning isn't listening.
There you go.
I'm reading his messages in reverse.
Okay.
Christopher says, yes, I love the conversation that is revealed. A deep dive to where our shadow and spirit have a dialogue about our life lessons. Your thoughts, Cassandra, on the shadow in relationship to the tarot. Oh, I want to say hi quick to Kim Linney and Brandon. I can barely see your name. I don't know why this. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. Yeah. Substack needs to work on some stuff. Anyway, yeah, your thoughts on the shadow. Do you run into I imagine that you do the reversed reading as well.
Actually, I don't read reversals. I usually don't.
Awesome.
I'll take note of them, but I don't. Yeah, I don't read them.
Okay. Do you run into shadow and do you do anything with shadow work or um
Um. Well, okay. I mean, I know for myself, it's like it. Yeah, it's like that's kind of like where the trickster shows up, where it's like
mhm,
you're not looking at your shadow, and it's like you think you're seeing something, and it's just like I said, it's the trickster energy to
right.
bring to light that shadow.
Mm,
So yeah, that can definitely show up, and it's like you just have to try to constantly check yourself, and then sometimes it still gets you. It still gets you sometimes, and
right. Do you have any readings that come to mind that were really aha readings for you over the years? Like something that stands out, like you did a reading that was just a thing.
yeah. Um, Yeah. It's hard for me to remember individual readings, like, for myself or for other people, but I know there's been a lot where it's like, at first, I'm like, "Okay, I don't really get what's going on here," and then something will pop in, and then, like, that whole puzzle piece will fit together, and it's like,
Mm,
"Okay, I get it." And then
right.
it's like, if they're, like, if that person is not wanting to face their shadow and stuff, it's like suddenly like, you see it. It's like it comes out from behind and you're like, "Oh, okay, I see what this is all about."
Oh, here's a question from Christopher. How do you handle people wanting quick yes or no answers from you at a party? I did this a few times and found it too overwhelming and causing me to feel sick afterwards, and I doubt the answers I gave were even relevant. I want to answer that question after you. That's a good
Okay.
question. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I used to avoid yes or no questions, but I will answer them now, provided they're formatted right. Like, if somebody's like, "Should I do this?" Like, that's not really a good question. It'd be more
Mm,
like, "If I take this course of action, what would be the outcome?" Or, "What are my options in this situation?" So, first of all, it's like I try to kind of work with their question. Um, and then, yeah, that's kind of the thing with parties and events, is you do have to just kind of spit something out. Yeah. and it's gonna land with people how it lands with people. So, yeah, it's like I try to coach them as much as I can on getting a good question to start with, but then I just have to spit it out and just be like, leave it. It's like, "Okay, that is the answer, and it is what it is."
and in a party setting, they're reaching out to you for a reading.
Right, right.
Now, what made me think of this with that question is something I've learned with the oracle is going up to somebody and asking them if they want a reading. And I've pretty much learned to stop doing that. Every now and then I'll check inside, right? And I'm very careful about, it's usually like I let them inquire. Like I maybe share it with them and then I let them inquire. But when I've gone up to somebody, not every time, and I don't try to go up to everybody, but I'll get this sense, right? A couple times I got it, I would just do it. And I learned that if a person isn't seeking me out for, doesn't reach out, and instead I'm reaching out to them, that typically the oracle, it just doesn't, it's not there's something missing from it.
Yeah,
And sometimes they're rushed too. A person wants a quickie thing, and it's almost an insult to my oracle. So
right.
I've learned to really honor this as a living collective.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I always say it's a service. When it comes down to it, it's a service. I'm a service provider. I provide a service. So, it's kind of like the guidelines you'd have with any other service you have with this as well. So, but the
Yeah.
interesting thing about parties and events is a lot of these people have never had a reading before. So,
Mm, right.
so they kind of don't know what to expect. They don't know
Yeah.
what to ask. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know. It's just very fun for me. It's very fun,
Yeah.
and I think
No,
it's
I
fun for
get
them
you.
too.
Well, it's fun because it's also chaos and the laws of chance. You're engaging wonder, and what will happen here. You don't
Right,
know, right? Nothing's
right.
set in stone. The oracle opens up that possibility. On the the article that you sent me, turn meh tarot into mind blowing sessions, a 4-step process for the juiciest tarot readings yet, says Cassandra. And so here we go. Garbage in, garbage out. Go ahead and share your thoughts on your magical formula.
Yeah. So I think that kind of goes back to what that person was asking about, like the yes no questions and wanting quick answers. Like, if it's not a well formulated question, then you're not going to get a lot of information out of it to
Right.
start with. So it helps to have a well-formulated question that doesn't stick the answer in a box so much,
Yeah.
that leaves it open to possibilities. And then a lot of times there's a question behind the question too with people. Like, they don't come right
Mm.
out and ask exactly what they want to know. They ask something kind of around it. You know what I mean?
Huh.
So yeah, so it's like, as you're reading, a lot of times you can kind of get a better feel for what that question behind the question is. And usually when I'm reading for someone and I can tell when I answered the question behind the question, because they'll just kind of go like, huh. You know what I mean? They just kind of like, just kind of relaxed into the answer or sink into the answer. And then
What would be
you
an
got it.
example? What would be an example of a question behind a question?
Let me think of an example.
I mean, just a general. I'm trying to picture it.
Yeah. So like, you know, um, sometimes somebody might ask, like, should I be looking for a new job, or would it be a good idea for me to look for a new job? Could I make more money if I look for a new job?
Right.
But the question behind the question is like, um,
I see where this is going.
yeah,
Yeah.
do I have what it
Am I
takes to
worthy?
move from where I'm at?
Yeah.
Or there's some other question behind it that
Yeah.
they're
Am I
not asking
worthy
that way.
of this or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Then you have what's a better question? So that maybe prompts the question behind the question.
Right. So it's like, maybe the better question is like, what am I best suited toward doing? Or what does spirit want me to do next? Or what am I stepping into, in my work, going with that same question? It's like, what am I stepping into and becoming? So that way it's not so much about just like a job, because you might be barking up the wrong tree with with
Right.
with that line of questioning.
Right. So it's like you're culling in a sense possibilities. Like it's almost like you're drawing out of their soul that's there what's there and the answers and the possibilities are there, but they don't see it. Like you're just helping them put it on the table so they can look at it.
Right. Right. That's a
Hmm.
good way of putting it. Yes.
What a great service.
Yeah. Thank you. I'd like to think so.
It's a great service. And to be able
Yeah.
to explain it to people, because the people, there's this because of the Christian church, tarot cards and like with the witches, the witches are, witch is a negative connotation. Tarot are just gypsies. I come from a bloodline of gypsies. Are just the crystal ball and the old lady with the long nose who's telling you your future and all this stuff. And so I like to people who are open, I like to be able to explain what's going on here with the tarot because everything in a sense is a tarot. Everything is a reflection of your inner realm, right? And you
Right.
look at something and what's the meaning on a thing. I had early in my path, I was always looking for people who had more than I had. Just as long as you had something more that I could learn, right? And I used to visit this metaphysical books. I used to live in bookstores, metaphysical bookstores. So one I spent a lot of time in Ventura, California. And every now and then somebody would walk in, a teacher or something. And there was this woman, and she just had this energy about her. Like she was a witchy, badass somebody, like had some energy. And of course, I went walking up to her, seeker as I was. And I forget what I asked her. I asked her something, and she picked up a cup. She looked at me and she goes, "What can this be?" And I said, "Well, it's a cup." She rotates it. "What else can it be?" And my brain started like new pathways started to break open. I go, "Oh, well, it can be a little cave for small animals. What else can it be? What else can it be?" And she kept doing that. And that was one of the keys that taught me about perception, and opening up perception of humans, our collective family, and you are one who's doing that sacred work, is opening up perceptions, so people have a wider space inside, which allows it's I don't want to like say it's healing humanity as more than it's like it's helping the inner realm open and grow, in a non-religious sense. Well, you are doing a good service.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
it's interesting in this day and age because people just don't wanna take the time to explore things,
Yeah,
I mean, if you go to the doctor, if you go to the regular doctor, I mean, you're in and out of there in 5 minutes, like, they're not gonna spend any time with you.
right.
They're not.
Yeah. Yeah, you're lucky if you got a doctor that's, you know, got a good sort of psycho-spiritual connection and just kinda really cares about you. Um,
They're
yeah,
rare.
but this is the work that we are doing, and it's never more in history, I think, has it been more important for us who are doing the inner work and to be present in this world right now. I think I have a thing with Christians, but it's not Christians. It's the doctrine. Most Christians are just people that want spiritual
Right.
connection to all things. That's all. They just don't understand. They're in the orthodox box, and graduate into the mystical Gnostic Jesus. Now we're in a better space. But everybody wants the soul. All souls want to grow, and so you're doing a service, and so many of this community that have been part of the chat so far that I've had the opportunity to communicate with are all doing that. So we're all in our own way doing something important for the world right now. It really, really needs it. So I really appreciate you being here and sharing your wisdom. One thing I like to do on the last part of the podcast is the rapid fire questions, the 5 element questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
So here we go. Earth. What is one simple truth your body knows that your mind often forgets?
Ugh.
And if you want to
Alright,
pass, you
simple
can pass.
truth
It's
the
not a
body
thing. Yeah.
knows that the mind forgets.
And if it doesn't, like anything could show up, you could just see a purple triangle and say, well, that's what I saw. Next. That's fine. It's whatever arrives.
Okay.
It's a prompt. What is one simple truth your body knows that your mind often forgets?
I think my body knows that ultimately it's very simple, and my mind doesn't recognize that a lot of the time.
Nice. Okay. Air. What is a single idea you are currently breathing life into?
Um, I I think lately it's been that everything really truly is happening in the moment, in the present moment. Like I've been going
Mm,
deeper and deeper with that and breathing life into that. That it really is. It sounds cliche, but it's like you really get into it. It is the present moment.
mm, nice. Water. In what way does your intuition speak to you most clearly?
Um, my personally, my intuition speaks to me in just flashes, like flashes of insight, and it's just like it just kind of comes in, and it's gone as fast as it came in. Just like choom, it's like, oh, okay, what was that?
Nice. All right. Fire. What is the one thing that most reliably fuels your creative fire?
um, I think color and beauty are the two things that fuel my creative fire.
Mm, nice. And then finally, spirit. Stripping away everything else, what single word describes your connection to the divine?
Ugh, conversation.
Perfect. And on that note, right? Well, I want to thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure. And just to let everybody know, we do have uh the rest of this week, we have got real quick. I can find my Google Calendar, which has vanished. Oh, there it is. Just so people know. Why it's loading so low. Here we go. So tomorrow at 10:30 Arizona time, we have a Spirit Scribe uh, live stream with Justina. And Friday at 10:30, we have a conversation with Lisa from the Altar of Becoming. Saturday at noon, Caitlin Hall, Hag Under the sorry, Caitlin. I have tried to keep my brain going here. Hag Under the Wood. I should know that because I interact with Caitlin often. Hag Under the Wood, Caitlin Hall, and we're going to talk about some tarot, Wizen tarot interaction that we've had. So we're going to talk about some tarot then, and then we have some others next week, and so that's what's happening. So anyway, again, I want to thank you so much for being here. And if there are any last words you would like to share with our audience?
I would say start a conversation with Tara. I invite you to start the conversation.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and spending time here. And I look forward to connecting in the future. Maybe you'll come back for a Spirit Scribe challenge or something.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Oh, okay. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.